welcome to Morning Coffees with James. I'm James, and this show you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is my morning coffee show. My phone decided to cut my video off because it told me I had to go train, which is at 4:45 right now. And I'm going to defy that by not going in when I should be going in. How are you all doing today? I'm going to wait a couple of more minutes before I could swear. Because YouTube's new rules are basically you can't swear in the first 10 to 15 seconds of the video because they think they're protecting the children. Because that's how authoritarians work. They want to try to protect all the children, and they will ruin your life because they are afraid of the evil of alternative thinking patterns and alt-think, which people are just, I'm getting real fucking sick of. And I know their whole thing is about, people who speak against the vax, people who speak about climate change, people who speak about diet, health, government, Joe Biden, anything the left deems, oh, you can't talk about that, you're evil right-wing conspiracy, you think January 6th was a joke. It was. Let's be honest, January 6th was a joke, and I know how people are treating it as the next 9/11 or Pearl Harbor or whatever. It's not. I'm sorry to say it, but you people need to calm the fuck down. You people need to have a fucking wake-up call, okay? Go to a different country and just stay there for a couple of days. Jesus Christ. It's just people walked in and just tipped over some desks and then messed up some papers. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but I don't give a shit. Like, really, look at the video. Okay, and compare that to the Summer of Love that happened during 2020. I'm just saying. But I was just simply, in my other video, was talking about where I've been, and I'm going to go from the start. Let's see. A girl I like and her family, the relationship dissolved, dropped out of college. Let's see, ended up working construction. That ended up poorly. Tried to get some money doing modeling. That was okay for the most part. Received a major back injury in my lower back. Lost my brother. Went back home to live with my parents again. Before I was living with this, let's just say, not stable woman. And also I was not in a stable condition. So my friend, let's be honest, I was not, this is the problem with people trying to help you. I'm not saying you shouldn't seek help or anything like that, but when people try to help you, just be like, no, I don't want your help. Because sometimes their help may not be what you want. Because it's always like, oh, I think here you go, here's some hot coals, this will keep you warm. No, it's like, you gotta be like, okay, I support you, but if they ask for help and they ask for something specific, but then again, people get Christian value, they'll throw you a bone, and literally just throw you a bone, not really giving you the time and effort. And that's what I kind of don't like about that shit. And then you've got, I'm not going to go into the details about what happened to me from the end of, 2019 to the beginning now, because you all know what happened. Dead brother. And then COVID hit, and strange things happened from 2020 to from 2020 to now. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm so fucking tired of the COVID shit. And there's so many things that happened since then. You had this, you had that, you had this going on, you had that going on, you had people dying. We lost a lot of good people too. Kevin Conroy being one of them. There's a list of it. I had a list, and I was gonna do a list, but then I was like, forget about it. You can go look it up. But where have I been since 2022? Of last year, but the last video I was making, I was trying to get my rhythm down. I was trying to get my I don't know what to call it. My rhythm. I'm just gonna say my rhythm. Just things I do and things how I do. My operation procedures. Trying to get that down. That sciatic rhythm. I want to call it, but I don't think that's it. And so I've been trying to get that back and trying to remember where I came from. And also I took January, and I'm this will be my from January to my birthday will be my year of like, I know people out there, oh, you weren't staying sober for those years and all that. I think I misspoke when I said no. I take 4 months off to just get sober and that's it. But I fucked up with it, so this year, this from January to my birthday, I'm gonna just stay sober. I'm just gonna try to stay sober. Actually, not try to, because I'm gonna be sober. Because to be honest with you, I want to face my own demons. I'm looking at the months, and I'm looking at like the days in there, and my birthday's on a Thursday, which I'm probably gonna do something on a Saturday or a Friday. So I'm gonna make the weekend. I might just take a weekend off. I don't give a shit. And 420 is on a Thursday. Both my birthday and 420. I know people out there are like, oh, it's Hitler's birthday. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, people are so fucking like, they want to just be some kind of clown thinking they want to give you some guy. Who gives a fuck about Hitler's? They're smoking pot on Hitler's birthday, okay? Who gives a fuck? That guy was probably going to ban weed. He banned smoking. That's the scary part. If someone's trying to ban smoking of any tobacco products or any kind of marijuana, they're like, I know people out there, I'm not a Nazi, blah, 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 blah. No. If you're trying to ban something and you're just being an absolute, like, dictator about it, calm the fuck down. But no, it's something I've just been, trying to get back. My rhythm, waking up, doing this, doing that, and I've been kind of messing up. I've been playing. I got a new Xbox. Thanks to Pam, I've got a Xbox Series X, which, by God, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love this more because this had heart to it. I could have gotten an Xbox Series X, or I could have, certain materials. It's like certain things have more is more loved when it has more heart to it. I have a necklace that I have that is a dragon surrounding a sword with diamonds on it. I think they're diamonds. They're gems, but that has more heart to it. This has more heart to it. And also, Pam, I'm still trying to finish up writing that letter. That's why I'm kind of like right now I have to focus on getting my rhythm in order. The letter is written. The first draft is written. I just got to put it on the computer and type it up and edit it and all that stuff because I want it to be proper. And yes, I am. My hair standing up there, and that's like one of the reasons why I'm kind of like trying to go sober for a couple of months because I haven't been focused. And when you're drunk or you're drinking a lot or you're smoking so much pot, you're kind of losing your rhythm. Like you lose that like motive to do stuff. And I know people, and also other things. I don't want to talk about that because it's kind of disgusting, but or I don't want to. I've been looked at as kind of weird. Truth is, it's like that's like what you're trying to do. You're trying to get your rhythm back. You're trying to get your like. You remember when you were young and there used to be this kind of like go-getter attitude, and then you get older and it's like, ugh. But I don't think it's because you're aging. It's because I think it's also because of depression. Sometimes some major event can hit you, and it can hit you for a long time. There's an event that will strike you down, that will like it will be hard to get back up. It could be like me, my death of my brother, or love, a girl I like that, which I'm good for her. I'm hoping she's happy with somebody else, and she is, it seems like, and I hope all the best for her. It could be, there was a lot more going on with that, but I'll just, besides her, but we're good friends now, we're cool. There's a lot more that can go on, the fact that, I was working I was working a job that was not paying me what I was supposed to be paid and trying to find money elsewhere, but it was just a nightmare dealing with, like, family business, hoping that was gonna, trust me, people out there be like, oh, you need us to be in your own family. It's so great to be in your own business, and they praise this kind of independent. They don't know the sacrifices you go through when you're working that kind of job, and it's like half the time it's like you're not involved with it because it's like, sometimes they don't listen to you, and sometimes they just were like, well, you're just a worker, you're just working there. It's like true, but it's like You know, it's like, come on. And it's, people do this shit and they want to do this shit, and, you got weak leadership, and it's like, give me a fucking break, man. I just want to get paid. That's what everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to just get paid for what they're worth, And if you've ever seen my video, if you've ever been with me a long time, there's a video I did in the past that was just bad mouthing Plato's Closet, which, honestly, we live in a female-dominant society. If I was a woman who had female clothing, I would have gotten money. But I'll tell you this much, they can still kiss my white Irish cock. But no, that's the fucking case with that. Like, I've been just kind of off rhythm, and also I can blame the video games. I can also blame, watching the Teen Titans, which, by the way, that's what I've been doing every morning, was watching. And I actually started back in 2020, back in 2022, was, I don't know when I started. I think I started in, I want to say the end of the winter. I want to say I started at the beginning of spring or the end of winter, watching watching Batman the Animated Series, and then Superman the Animated Series, jumping between that during the summer, and then jumping into the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and then now I'm jumping into Teen Titans, which there's another show Batman Beyond, but I kind of wanted to check out. I don't mind Batman Beyond, but I was like, okay, let me see what Teen Titans Go. Not Teen Titans Go. That show sucked. Teen Titans. And I'm like, yeah, watching Teen Titans, the original 2006 show, and then comparing it to Teen Titans Go. My God, like, why they drop the ball big. And you know what's funny? If you have HBO Max, look how many episodes of Teen Titan Go there is, seasons, and then look how many seasons of Teen Titan are. It's astronomically unfair, because Teen Titans has, like, I want to say 5 or 6 seasons, and Teen Titans goes in the 10s. It's like, what the fuck? Like, DC, what the fuck is the matter with you? You in the show, like, I'll tell you this much, watch the original show, because it is not just night and day, it is just, the contrast is so messed up. And even, like, they made a movie about that where they made fun of both. It's like, yeah, you thought Teen Titans was a good show that was serious, but this one's cooler, and it's like, they're talking about Young Justice, but it's like, I haven't seen the movie, so I'm like, I know, it's like, you have no right to speak, and it's for children. And as a grown adult, who, you're right, but I have a nephew who watches this stuff, and you have to be careful what they digest, not just what they eat, but what they watch and what they hear and what they see, because we ignore all that art. You listen to that, you look at them, and it's like, that's not art, that's not comic, that's not what superheroes are about. And even in Teen Titans Go, there was an episode where, like, they meet Young Justice. I think they meet Miss Martian, Superboy, and Aqualad, the Black Aqualad, because there was a Black Aqualad, and Black Aqualad is like, you guys are not superheroes, you guys care about more as just making jokes and having a stupid time. You don't care about what this is all really about. And that's how I feel. It's like, you look at superheroes nowadays, it's like lecturing you about you being an evil white man and the whole progressive left nonsensical bullshit. People are, they care about making jokes. It's jokes. It's just, no. It's just jokes. I'm using it as a shield. It's like, if I did that, nobody would, be like, oh, well, jokes hurt. It's like, everything hurts people for some fucking apparent reason. Jokes don't hurt you. They just butt hurt you. And there's something different about that. But then you got, but I digress. Let me just finish up by saying, Teen Titans Go is absolute cancer. Teen Titans is legendary. I know people out there are like, that's an overrated show. I don't care. It's still good. And Young Justice is, it's alright. Alright for the most part. Alright, but that's all I gotta say about that. So, in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about another topic, where I've been. So, and what I'm going to do for the next future, and why I'm being hesitant. Because Alright, I'm gonna wait a few seconds, and... Alright, welcome back, part 2 of this video. It's gonna be confusing for people on YouTube, but I'm on Instagram, and Instagram... doesn't want you to have long videos. They need just 15 minutes, that's it. You've got 15 minutes to speak. It's like, why can I not speak longer in the other video? So, what I want to do is kind of do like a Joey Diaz kind of podcast, because I have a mic. You can't see it right now, but I have a mic, a Yeti mic, and it's a great setup, and I want to do videos that are long form and all that stuff, but the problem is my video, I have two forms of making video. I have a camera that does video. It's a really good video camera, but the problem is that I can't see how the video looks, so every time I do it, it's either blurry, it's either out of focus, and also it just films for about 10 minutes, and that's it. It just films for 10 to 50, like 11 minutes, and then it just automatically shuts off. And it's a Canon Rebel T6, and I don't know how the fuck that thing works. How you extend the time on it, because it just like automatically shuts off because it's like, I'm bored. Ugh. That's how I see like most technology that just doesn't want to fucking function for you. You know. And then I have my, phone, which I love having the phone, doing it with the phone, but I want to do but I tried doing it with the phone, and the phone, every time I put up the video, somehow the syncing doesn't work, because I tried it once, and the syncing was absolutely off, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Can I just get a video and audio perfectly? And it's like, this is my problem with technology. It's like, can we just do this proper? Okay? So I gotta get a web camera. I think I have to get a web camera. I don't know. Is there anybody out there who can tell me if I need a web camera? Because this is starting to get absolutely bonkers, and it's starting to piss me off too, because I just want to make a fucking video, man. I just want to make a fucking video. And so, yeah, it's getting rough out there. So that's why I'm kind of being hesitant, because I like doing, as much as I like doing this format, I want it to be good audio. I want it to be good. I want to be more professional at this. I want to do more editing. I want to use a little bit what's going on my screen right here on my computer. I want to, show you what's been going on. Show you, because I can't just keep talking about you. I want to show you a visual, because that's how people learn. They're visual learners. And I can't just, just blah, 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 and expect you to know what the fuck I'm talking about. So it's kind of hard there. I know it's fun seeing my pretty little face, but honestly, I want to show a video of something. I want to show you something that, I want to talk about. So it's kind of hard doing that. And honestly, if there's anybody out there, please show me. Please tell me what the fuck I'm doing wrong, or show me. And I know people out there don't want to talk about that, or they don't want to address anything. It's just like, what the fuck? And then, like I said before, YouTube, most of the social media decides, hey, censorship is cool as shit. I'm going to try doing more things this year. That's what I want to try to do. So I'm going to have to go online, looking up YouTube videos, and looking up web camera, how to get a web camera, what kind of program they use, and how they sync the audio. I mean, I know it's like there's some editing program in there too and stuff like that, and I'm like, I gotta make this easier, because I work a hard-ass job. I work out, I go do this job, which is just time consuming. That's a major time consuming, because it's also my source of income. And then I come home and I have some chores. I have to go out and do this shit, and I have to do that shit. I usually forget, and I usually don't have the energy to do it, because I love doing it in the morning, because I have this energy that needs to get out and get going, because my brain now functions and it helps me function. But it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough out there. And I'm hoping to do long form videos like this. I actually want to do like an hour-long episode where I can do this, so I don't waste any time, and I can just chill the fuck out, edit it, and do kind of a long form podcast. I'm not Joey Diaz, and I have on it, or I have my sponsorship, Blue Chew, whatever the fuck they say, or, DraftKings. It's like, they can't do a Joey Diaz impression, but I digress. And I have a new Xbox Series X, and I have old games. That's the brilliance of the Xbox Series X. And one of the things I think I like better than PlayStation, the problem with PlayStation, besides I can go down the list, but I will talk about the first major one, backwards compatibility. Like, I have see this right here? This is the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 2 Slim. I have it on top of it, and it's sitting on top of a PlayStation. The PlayStation 2 can do backwards compatibility. Why the fuck can not the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 do backwards compatibility with, especially the PlayStation 4, with PlayStation 3 games, with PlayStation 2 games, and PlayStation... No, you have to go to the store. And it's like, what the fucking... You can't do that technology? Xbox can just basically do Xbox Series X, current Xbox games, Series X games. They can do 360 games. They can do Xbox One. They can go from... let me start again. They can go Series X. They can go Xbox One. They can go 360. And they can go original Xbox. Why the fuck can't your Xbox... Why can't your PlayStation do that? Like, you did it before. Like, oh, well, it's hard and all this stuff. And new games. And it's like, oh, we gotta be new, current, new. It's like, the reason why people watch and play older, like go for the older stuff, is because not because of nostalgia. People get so butthurt, and it's not from the people who like nostalgia. Like, I know it's a fine drug. Don't get me wrong, but it's not about the nostalgia. It's about quality over the nostalgia. There are some games that just don't hold up, but there are others that just do, and I don't give a shit. New Vegas is one of those games that still holds up. I know people out there, oh, it's so outdated and all this shit. It's like, you don't think your games are going to be outdated? Do you think the new Saints Row game is, like, it's already being trashed, and I don't think anybody's going to remember that fondly. I'm playing Saints Row 2, and I'm like, shit, this game is still fucking good, despite the graphics. And also, to those new gamers out there, I'm going to tell you one of the major rules, one of the major, I don't want to say biblical verses, but one of the major, what's the word I'm looking for? Not Bible, not rules, but like one of the major codes of video games. Graphics don't equal good fucking game. I'm sorry to say it, folks. I know people out there are like, oh, these graphics fuck, and you compare them to 2078 and 720p or 160p, and you compare them different. Who gives a shit? Like, you people, like, honestly, if it's fun, it's fun. I mean, you look at Mario Brothers, you watch people play that shit, it's still fun. Yeah, there's some jank to the old games, but that was because they had limitations. And everybody wants to scream about realism, and it's like, shut the fuck up about your realism. You've been spoiled with realism. And in fact, it's actually ruined current gaming, because everybody's trying to go for realism, and they're trying to go for serious stories. But we can't have sexual content in there. We can't have women wearing scantily clothing. We can have so much swearing that it doesn't even fit into the story. I mean, why do you... I looked at the new God of War game, and I was like, there's just so much swearing. It's like an HP... This is why I never got into Game of Thrones. In fantasy, there should be fantasy swearing. There shouldn't... Well, I think... And I know people out there, well, I think it belongs there because, it's more realistic. No, I don't get... You're talking about a world with dragons and zombies and all this other shit, and yet you're swearing like it's a... Like, guys, just because you're on HBO doesn't mean you should be writing like it's on HBO. I don't think it did, like... There's just so much. God, like, I don't even think in Deadwood, there's that much swearing back in the Old West. It's like, guys, that's a crutch. If somebody is swearing, even in the new God of War Ragnarok, which I'm like, that game does not deserve to be Game of the Year. I'm glad Elden Ring did, because Elden Ring has something that God of War didn't. Class. It's focusing on being a good game, which I gotta finish up. It's on PlayStation, so I'm not getting it for Xbox Series X at the moment. I'm gonna focus on playing the one I already got, because I got it there, and I got some games to play on the PlayStation 2, so PlayStation 4. So, I have to finish that up. I also have to finish up Dark Souls and Bloodborne, which, by the way, great games, by the way. But the reason why the reason why Elden Ring won was because it was focused on being a video game instead of being this, like, cinematic art. It's art, don't you understand art? I do understand art. I really do understand art, but the problem is that, I get thrown out when you have Odin in that game being, a mob boss, So out of place too. Being a mob boss played by a, short Jewish balding man. I'm like, that's Odin? That's like the Norse god Odin? Anthony Hopkins did a better job at that. It's like watching, I know people out there, it's like, well, James Wood played Hades and everybody loves that movie. The tone fit his attitude. The tone of that movie fit it because it works in that aesthetic of that world. It doesn't work in God of War because this is the same universe where you had the Greek pantheon, and Zeus in that game, that game series was a badass. Like, he could kick the shit out of Odin, just like murder him and break, and then kill Thor, but with his own hammer. But with that writing, it's like, guys, when was the word fuck invented? Like, everybody thinks that's it, and you see that in, like, the Resident Evil remake. You see that in modern games nowadays with the writing. Oh, we're not allowed to have sexy costumes or any kind of sensual costumes that shows a little bit more skin, but bloodshed, foul language, meanness, mean spirit, like that's all okay, but oh, you're wearing a scantily, I'm triggered. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. Take a shit. Have a smoke. It's like, shut the fuck up. All right? And again, it's one of the problems with, like, what's wrong with our culture. We've been hijacked by these people who don't give a shit about, what geek culture or nerd culture or nerdom or whatever you want to call it. It's been hijacked by these, the popular kids, the kids who wanted to be popular their entire life. They wanted to be with the clique and wanted to be with the hive mind, whatever. They never gave a shit about our popular things. They never gave a shit about comic books, video games, movies, science fiction, fantasy. They never gave a shit about that. All they cared about was being popular and using it for money. Why do you think Star Wars sucks? Why do you think, movies and television nowadays, or entertainment of that caliber is falling apart? Because it's been hijacked by these fucking wokies who think they're outcasts, but you're not. You're just like the rest of the fucking crew. You're in the hive mind of communist bullshit because you're, and I can tell you right the fuck up that I've seen this happen. I went to college for film school, and the thing this is what they were teaching you, that white men are bad. That the stuff they were showing you is all evil sexual content, that evil white men want to hurt everybody who's not pale, everybody who's not white. And by the way, the scene in Indiana Jones where he shoots the sword guy, that was supposed to be a whip and sword fight. Harrison Ford got together with the guy and said, hey, look, let's just do this scene. And the scene where he shoots him, that's what they did. That's what they fucking did. And I'm not alone on this. I was watching, almost a cult classic, The Podcast, and Ryan Lancello, and I know I'm gonna mess up his name, said it. He said, I was in film school, and then, like, the reason I left was when they started getting political. It's like that nobody gives a shit about fucking politics. You shove your fucking lecturing bullshit in there because that's what they did to you. And if anybody wants to go into film and media and all that stuff, I say find the alternative. Go YouTube is going to be fucking dominant. Go find a script writing course. There's many books on there. And I'll say this too. My final thoughts on this. Yes, it's been hijacked by these people who've been and these are the people who got hired. You know what I say? Think about this, and this is what I said when I talked about the Saints Row thing, or about the Saints Row reboot. I could do their job better. I can do their job absolutely better. I know how to do their job better, and I don't give a fuck if anybody knows it. I know I'm being a cocky motherfucker. Oh, you haven't worked on anything else. No, but I know good storytelling, and I can make a good story based on what you had there. I can do it better than you, because you know what? At least I have fucking heart.